live from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so excited to welcome the creative genius behind Companion, the series. Thank you so much for being with us today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So what was the impetus for this series?
Well, basically, Companion was created by myself and Nick Moyaris, and it's about a sober companion to the stars, this sort of dysfunctional world of a sober companion.
Know a little bit about that, don't you, Doctor? I do too.
And basically, Mike plays the companion. He's the star of the show, and basically, he's the guy the A-list goes to when they need to get their lives back on track from drug and alcohol abuse. Companions are basically recovery coaches, and most of the time, they're hired by newly sober, high-profile clients that are trying to get their lives back on track. So a companion kind of integrates them back into their daily lives, and that's the relationship our show kind of explores.
Which is a very serious topic, but how did you add light? How did you keep it fun?
Sobriety obviously is a dark, can be a tough struggle. We both have experience, in treatment, and life is funny. It doesn't always have to be serious, and we're comedy writers as well. So just trying to keep things grounded, I think just keeping light life, and sometimes the struggle and the things you go through in the struggle, besides being empowering, can be kind of entertaining. Right, yeah.
Yeah, and throughout the set, what we would do is we'd put bananas on the floor.
That helps.
So we'd slip,
yeah.
And every once in a while you get a laugh that way.
We both have been in that. I know I did some sober companion work a long time ago, some really big celebrities, and it was a very, in my opinion, the world is a lot of people that want money, that want the status, to be around the celebrities and be around that sober companion. And it's a real, how do you know when there's a good companion and it's a legit, world versus people just trying to get their,
it's interesting.
Name next to the celebrity.
So Nick, who wishes he could be here, he's in Portugal. So, tough life. But he was a sober companion many years ago. And we would talk, and he's like, when you're a companion, your life becomes their life. You're with them 24/7. Doing everything with them. You're this one-man entourage. And it's not always successful, as you probably know. He'd be on tour with a rock star on the road, and, he'd get fired because they wanted to get high. Or he'd be on the campaign trail with a congressman, and it would go great, and they're still sober, and he still gets Christmas cards from this one particular person. So like anything with sobriety, it's a coin flip.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these guys, in answer to your question, are vetted too up front, so they're interviewed and they sort of, but still, once you get involved in that world, all of a sudden you can change your personality quickly, depending on who you're working with.
But what I love about the sober community is the humor. The humor is amazing. When you go, if you want to go hear good speakers, go to a 12-step. The best speakers, I swear.
The best.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the really interesting part of our show is the character Mike plays is an everyman. He is a regular blue-collar guy. Nick, when he started as a sober companion, he had 1 year of sobriety. That was his qualification. And he lived in a studio apartment in Koreatown. And all of a sudden, he's thrust into this world with these celebrities where all of a sudden there's a lot on the line, and he has to keep them sober. So there's the clash of these two worlds, which I think really makes the show a lot of fun.
Sounds like a great show.
It is. As comedians and as comedic writers, how do you pivot when you're doing a project like this? Is it hard? Do you get kind of sucked into the art itself, and it can be heavy, and you want moments of fun, but how do you do that, both in your own lives, but also with a project like this? Is it difficult to make that pivot mentally? Mike?
You mean in our relationships outside of the project? Yeah,
just in general. I think sometimes, art informs life, but also life informs art, and it can be difficult. I know, actors sometimes get caught in the role, and they begin to realize that it begins to live itself out in their daily lives. It's the heaviness and the stress and the anxiety.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is, for me, in this particular project, as a character, I was fortunate enough to talk to Nick quite a bit and get a lot of his experiences from him, but also, you bring your own experiences to the project. And I think as far as where the funny comes from, it really comes from life is funny and relationships are funny. And to have a sober companion that's put in this world with these different relationships with these different people, rock stars and athletes, that they would never be in that world. I think that's those predicaments, those situations is where the comedy comes out of.
Now let's try and take a look.
All right.
Cool.
I can't party anymore, then I gotta find new ways to express myself. So that means having a bunch of women, finishing my career here in LA, and messing with you every chance I get.
I'm your sober companion. That's what you pay me for. To make sure you go to court tomorrow, a changed man.
My man Nick, he's my new juice man.
You study psychology?
That's funny.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
awesome.
Thank you.
And it's such a great spectrum to see human behavior and that
Yes.
realm and stuff. And there's I mean, I think it's the largest growing community in the world, AA.
Yep.
So there's a huge demographic that
Yeah.
just intriguing to witness human beings and what we can get, what jail cell we can get ourselves into mentally. And
Right.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
And it's really resonated with audiences that worldwide. Tell us about the festival circuit and some of your
It's been fun. We made this independently, sort of outside of the system of the television world, and it's really gotten a lot of traction. We've been to a ton of festivals. We actually won Best Comedy Pilot at the Independent Television Festival, ITV Fest, which was really cool. And it's just great that the festival circuit's great because it gives us an opportunity to screen our work. We got written up in TV Guide, and now we're sitting on this couch, and it's been very cool. And also to bring light to sort of this subject, this sort of niche profession of a sober companion. We've had a lot of people come up to us after about that as well.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So now what? Where are you guys taking it now?
Right now, it's we're actually looking for a home for it. We've met with a couple of networks. We are meeting with some streaming channels for distribution, but there's a lot more stories to tell.
So many stories. It's actually a great,
Yeah. So, but you
premise,
can
for
see it at right now, companionseries.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank
Thanks,
you
you
both
guys.
so much.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Marc,